Pastor Rex would also like to acknowledge that during its early years, Jeff Fricky was a member and involved and became a pastor in the full-time ministry. Also, we'd like to acknowledge that current member Jerry Gentis served with Pastor Scott Oberg at St. Paul Lutheran in Chatsworth for 13 years as a partner in ministry. And we'd like to acknowledge today also that Kathy Eckert served Resurrection Lutheran Church as an associate in ministry for several years. And Pastor Lisa Goodwin served during a summer sabbatical at Resurrection as well. I was the final called pastor at Resurrection Lutheran. And when I say final, it just means I was the pastor who happened to be here as we are closing. Because all the pastors continue to care for you and move forward in the years ahead. But during these last 4 years, even though we struggled and were coming out of a time in which the congregation was going through some disease and discomfort and general things that a lot of congregations will go through in its history, you continue to share and grow in ministry. That's what called me here, was seeing a congregation that continued to try and grow and reach out to serve in all its various ministries. And we heard about many of them, Safe Harbor and Midwest Food Bank and Habitat and others. And so you brought a Midwestern boy back to the Midwest from California, and that first winter of 2015, I wondered, what in the world was I doing coming back? Because I'm not built for the Arctic. I'm built for the tropic, and I guess that's why I'm headed down south to Texas now again. But it was good years of ministry. And you welcomed me for the first 6 months by myself, and then you brought my family here. And you made them a part of Resurrection Lutheran Church as well. And I want to let you know and just assure you that yes, ministry did continue on, maybe not the way it had done before, but we still had youth involved in youth ministry and confirmation through St. John's here with their Thrive program. We were trying to learn a new way to be church, which was really what Resurrection had been founded on. We were trying to figure out how could we cooperate with St. John's and with our Saviors. And so we looked into that. And yes, we did the ELCA trip to the National Youth Gathering in Detroit in 2015. And I'll let you know that we were represented at the National Youth Gathering this past summer, 2018. We had one youth who was a member of and went with Our Savior's Lutheran Church on that trip to Houston. And we had one of our college-age youth who was a member who served as a servant leader in Houston, leading other groups on work trip projects. And so that continued. And work camps became also a part of what we did. We partnered with St. John's Lutheran, and we had youth that took part in a group work camp here in Bloomington. We had youth that traveled to St. Francis, South Dakota, to the Rosebud Indian Reservation and served. And last summer, we sent youth down with St. John's as well to Ripley, Tennessee, to take part in that. We continued to support and share with Clare House and help them in their final days as well, as we shared with that ministry and helped them to close well. And then in 2016, towards the end, we also moved from 2 services to one, more of a blended service, bringing elements of our traditional and contemporary together. And I shared in my pastor's report in 2016 and 2017, as I was sharing and writing before Christmas Eve, that we had been through kind of a whitewater rafting experience and shared about the different classes and rivers. And the things we were doing is we were trying to figure out what was it like, or what do we need to be forward moving and changing here as we shared with the ministry of Bloomington Normal and God's Outreach. Little did I know that on December 23rd, we'd literally go over a waterfall and have our roof collapse. The sky didn't fall, but yes, the roof of the fellowship hall collapsed. And we spent most of 2017 as a congregation that was wandering and journeying. We started at the old Dollar Tree store that year, over on Main and Veterans. And it was amazing to watch the transformation of that store in less than 24 hours. As 40 of you, and I'm not even going to attempt to list who it all was there, transformed that empty storefront into a church home for us for the next 6 months. And we continued to do our ministry and service and outreach. And yes, we even brought in new members during that time. And we battled, yes, we battled with the insurance company over the repair of Grace Hall. And what would that mean? And we attempted to sell the building and have that up. And then when the insurance decided they were no longer going to pay for our rent to the Dollar Tree store, St. John's welcomed us in with open arms. In a sense, bringing the child home into its doors. And we worship out of the fellowship hall. And so we want to say to those who are members of St. John's, thank you. Thank you for the last year and a half that we could use to continue to figure out what we were to be about as Resurrection. And then in this last year, yes, we came to that painful conclusion that it was time. Time to end the ministry that we've been hearing about for the whole time we've gathered this afternoon, for 39 years. And we have just scratched the surface for those 39 years. But we say thank you for those times of ministry. We lift them up and we celebrate them. We grieve the fact that they won't go on as a gathered community in the years ahead. But we also celebrate that the heart and ministry of Resurrection Lutheran Church will continue on here in the Bloomington Normal community for many, many years ahead, as each and every one of you who are part of Resurrection move out now into other congregations in the community and take that seed that was planted in you through Resurrection and share that and help it grow in other places. And so now, as we come and we finish this time of remembering and reflecting on the ministries of Resurrection and ending it here at St. John's, we spend the last part of our service before sharing the final meal together around the meal that God provides for us. The meal and the table of grace that God gives us and reminds us that each and every one of us are called and special children of God. We're gathered for a reason. We've served our purpose. In the book of Acts, Paul writes about King David. And he says, King David served God in his generation, and then he was gathered to his ancestors. Let each one of you know that in the generation of RLC, we served God. And now we are going to be gathered into other groups to continue that service.